Hey everybody, welcome to Jumpscared. This is a podcast of sorts that I'm just starting. It's about horror. Just horror in general. Creepypastas, horror movies, horror books, anything horrible. Horrible life experiences that we've had in the past that we don't want to share with the public. That's going to be on the show today. No. So today's topic is going to be creepypastas that should be movies. I am joined by two people who will now introduce themselves. One of them is named David.
Hello, I am the King of the Macabre, David King. You might know me as the host of the Midnight Marinara podcast. That's what I do, and that's what I do best. I like to think I have a good understanding of horror and of creepypasta in general as a result, and I am glad to be here with my good buddy, the Beast of Slimy Substance.
That's right. And also with us is, you know her, you love her, Kayla.
My name is Kayla Berry. I am the producer of Midnight Marinara, and I also help out on behind the scenes on all that good stuff. And I have a couple connections to the entertainment industry, but other than that, I just like to have fun whenever I can.
She's a fun-loving go-getter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna introduce myself, but that's fine. That's fine.
Sorry, go for it.
You don't exist. I thought you
I'm
don't
Slime
exist.
Beast. I'm a creepypasta writer, and this is my channel. Okay.
Yay!
Yeah, if you don't know who he is, why are you here?
That's right. And if you
Yeah,
do
that's
know
good.
who I am, why are you here also? Because I have nothing to offer. Seriously.
That is statistically not true. Have you been to slimebeast.com? Have you seen the amount of fiction on there?
If you haven't been to slimebeast.com, why not go now? That's slimebeast.com. SLIMEBEAST.
And while you're at it, check out the now defunct Faceless Corporation page where you can join us and not have anything happen.
That's right. You can read old posts from several months ago, or possibly last year. But yeah.
It's great.
So today's topic, of course, as I mentioned, is creepypastas that should be made into motion pictures, and how that would happen.
Done.
We're
done.
done. We're done. Goodbye, everybody.
Yeah,
But,
because no
we're done?
creepypasta should be made into a motion picture.
That's right. That would be
None.
crazy, like making a friggin' indie jump scare game about pizza bears into a movie. That would be ridiculous.
Showbiz Pizza the game.
But yeah, so we're each going to give, how this works is we're going to give our answer to what we would like to see made into a movie, how we'd like it done, if, you can get as detailed or as basic as you want to be, and then we're going to discuss it, debate it, tell each other why, everybody else's idea is crap, and let you watching this decide in the comments.
Right. Now, interestingly enough, before we dive right into that, I just want to say we are starting to see some creepypasta being made into movies, or at least the mythos of that.
True.
Yeah, the one that you just recently did a Midnight Marinara on, Room 73, is about to become a movie.
Ooh.
Yeah. Apparently the writer of Room 733, C.K. Walker, has been commissioned to do this movie, and being real hush-hush about the screenplay, but she posted a little snippet like, so I'm writing this now, and I was like, yay!
Yay!
And then I contacted her saying, is it still cool if I do this adaptation? Because,
It's gonna be better than the movie, just so you know.
it probably will be, but maybe not. I trust that she'll have a really awesome thing up there, and it's not often like the author has creative control over
Right.
the movie adaptation, so I think that's pretty rad, and that
Yeah.
she still keeps the rights to it.
The first thing I think is I picture an executive going, room 70 what? I don't know. Let's make it room 13. That's a scary number.
Ooh.
Everybody
I think
knows
we'll
13.
totally
Change it to
remember
that.
if it was a like a Japanese horror movie, it would be like Room 104 or something like that.
Ooh.
That is true, because 4 is considered an unlucky number in Japan.
Ooh. Room 444.
There you go.
Yeah.
Room 666.
That too. If they don't
I-
do room 13, maybe room 666 could be the sequel, actually. I don't know.
It's built on the 13th floor.
Ooh. Built
Dun,
on the
dun.
13th floor of a high-rise built on an Indian burial ground. But yeah.
And the Indian burial ground was built over a Viking burial ground for some reason.
Which was actually built on a caveman pet cemetery, interestingly enough.
A caveman pet
Yes.
cemetery. In other words, there's going to be saber-toothed tigers and woolly mammoths and
In
um.
in adorable collars and sweaters, yes.
Just
Aw.
this you'll find you'll dig it up and you'll find a skeleton of some sort of brachiosaur, and around its neck it'll say Dino.
Oh, jeez.
Caveman burial ground, and underneath that is where you'll find a book written to Haster, the King in Yellow. There you go. How many layers can you put into this weird don't build a thing there cake? Well,
And beneath that, you'll find the original book that was actually a fan fiction work of before it was printed.
yes, the Sallow Regent.
Anyway.
But yeah. 733 is being made into a movie, and then there's been a few, actually. I've looked this up on IMDb. There's quite a few about Slender Man.
Yeah, I mean, they usually dance around it like they have the tall man or, slender guy.
So obviously Slender Man.
There's a couple that have, I think, obliquely called him Slender or something akin. Though there's one I was made just recently called Always Watching. It's, I think, specifically says it's a Marble Hornets story.
Right.
But
It does.
yeah. But a friend of mine was an editor on that, and he told me they refer to the Slender entity in that as the Observer.
Or the operator.
Oh no!
The only reason I know that is because he told me, so don't...
Yeah, I told you this, and I corrected myself afterward, too. God damn it. God.
The reason I remember that most of all is because I think who was phone? The operator, of course. But yeah, that's the twist ending of that movie.
Oh, you spoiled it, because my movie choice was going to be Who Was Phone, the movie.
Oh, no.
Aww.
Yeah, I was trying to think of what to do, and I was thinking, Guillermo del Toro's, NES Godzilla creepypasta. No, and I don't know, Edgar Wright doing Does Anyone Know a Plumber? No, I don't know. But yeah, Michael Bay's Jeff the Killer. Oh no, wait, Michael Bay would actually be good for then a skeleton popped out, because it could be like boom, there's a skeleton, big
Tim
explosion.
Burton's The Origin of Laughing Jack.
Who does that now?
Tim Burton's The Origin of Laughing Jack.
There you go.
Oh,
With
God.
Johnny Depp.
With Johnny Depp
In a
as
cone nose.
Laughing Jack.
Johnny Depp would actually make a decent Laughing Jack.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's another good thing about adapting creepypastas to film is, pretty much any way you go with it, it's, going to be acceptable.
That's
you
true.
can't really say, this is not a perfect Laughing Jack because he looks like this and he does that, and, most you have is, like, fan art,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I mean,
So, I don't know who's going to go first. We should probably flip a coin or draw straws over Skype or something like that.
Somehow.
Rock, paper,
Eeny,
scissors.
meeny, miny.
Does anybody feel confident enough to go first?
I have. I mean, I could go film theory on this and be like, well, the only ones that can't be made, of course, are the Lost episodes because they're basically fan fiction.
Ooh.
Yeah, we can. I think in a lot of ways we could rule out. I think that I had that logic when I came into this. I was thinking, you know what would not make a very good movie? This because for one, copyright would be Lost episodes or haunted gaming. Although this is a fantasy scenario, so we could throw whatever we want out there, can't we?
So what you're saying is that I can't have Brad Bird do Dead Bart.
No, we're saying we're sorry, Brad Bird can't do Abandoned by Disney.
Aww.
Hey, Escape from Tomorrow was done as a weird Disney.
Yeah,
horror.
but that was illegally done, and basically, Disney couldn't really do anything about it because of logistics. Blah blah blah.
Right, I'm just saying if you're careful enough, you can dance around it. Like,
Right.
Conceivably, someone could do. We could get Brad Bird's Abandoned by Disney.
I don't even know how that would work. He doesn't seem the type to do a...
Actually, are we allowed? I mean, this fits in the genre of horror. Are we allowed to use directors who are dead?
Probably. I wouldn't see why not. I mean, it would just be semantics, so...
All right. Well, in that case, Stanley Kubrick's Abandoned by Disney.
Oh, wow.
That would be a pretty good movie. I'd see
Sheesh.
that. I
Because
would say
Stanley
money.
Kubrick, if anything, is best associated with animatronic type characters. Sure.
Actually, one of the ones I wanted, and I'm not trying to kiss your ass here, Slimy, but I actually would like to see. Uh, why is the name not coming to my head?
Don't worry. Take all the time you need to kiss my ass. Don't worry about it.
You want to describe it for us?
You did the podcast for it, David.
Whimsywood?
That's it.
Ah.
I think Whimsywood would actually make a pretty good film. In terms of what you could go in depth with it, the fact there is a good mystery behind it, the fact that one, it's also from the point of view of a kid, which has always been usually good to do if you get the right kid actor.
Haley Joel Osment is.
No, he's like 25 now, I think.
He could be Lumberjack Dan. That's what he could do.
Oh, did you see him in Entourage?
No.
He could pull off a lumberjack.
Oh, interesting. So that you're saying that's your official entry into this little discussion is Whimsywood,
That's my entry.
starring Haley Joel Osment.
No, not starring Haley Joel Osment. Starring whatever kid it is today. That's the Haley Joel Osment of today.
Surrey Cruise.
Sorry. Oh,
whoever that kid was that played young fuck.
Young fuck.
Whoever
I don't
played
remember
young
that
fuck
movie.
in that one movie. Fuck. No, a young George Clooney in Tomorrowland.
I haven't
Whoever
seen
that
that
kid
yet.
was.
So.
He wasn't too bad. I don't know. I think you would have to search through a lot of. I would hope for a newbie, to be honest.
Oh yeah.
Because usually when you get a newbie actor, it turns out well. I mean, not for Phantom Menace, but I mean.
Jake Lloyd for main character.
Wait, question. Did he do... okay, off topic, but did he do Jingle All the Way before he did Phantom Menace?
Or after? I don't know. I don't know. Either way.
No, he did. He did, because Jingle All the Way came out in the late 90s, and Phantom Menace came out in 2001. So, yeah, they should have saw that coming. That was their fault.
Fun story about Phantom Menace. When that first came out, or before it came out, a friend of mine got God, I forget what it was. It was something like Cambodian DVD with like the subtitles in whatever language. He had gotten it, bootleg.
Yeah.
This was like months before it came out, and he's like, I got this video, and I got the movie. We have to watch it. So I sat down to watch it with him, and like 10 minutes into the film, he's like really jazzed, and I'm going, uh-oh. This is, oh no, oh dear. This is not good.
No.
Oh dear. Well, what happened to you, George? George.
Oh, George.
Georgie Porgy, why?
You know what people really love about my film series is the Ewoks. If we could make everything like that.
We are the Ewoks. Does anybody remember the Ewoks cartoon?
I
Yes.
remember the cartoon, but not fondly.
Neither do I, really. I like the droids one better.
Nobody remembers it fondly.
Well, there's
Gummy
bound to be a
bears
few. There is the internet. You'll bound to find like entire wiki pages dedicated to Ewoks, the series.
What would Ewok bronies be called?
Ewokman.
Oh.
Ewokman?
We should ask. We have a friend actually who is a huge fan of the Ewoks.
Does he call himself a Hewok?
There's two kinds of Ewoks. He-walks and she-walks.
Oh. Good gracious.
But yes, Whimsywood is my final one, and I would try and get a new child actor for that. It's kind of like with the movie The Exorcist, she had never done. What was Reagan? The actress who played Reagan hadn't.
Selma Blair. No, I can't remember her actual name.
I can't either.
Linda Blair.
Linda Blair,
That's
right.
it, yeah.
She hadn't done acting before that, but after having the director had a long conversation with her, he realized, okay, she is mature enough to understand this and handle it. And she did a fantastic job.
And had a long-lived career after that.
Sort of. Okay, I'm saying good child actors, not ones that have careers after that. Very few people survive a child career.
So we've got Kayla on the board with Whimsywood, possibly ass-kissing choice.
No.
Are we going to go around and say our choices first and then go back and discuss them? Is that the idea?
Yes, we're going to go around and say our choices, and then we're going to eviscerate each other.
Perfect. I brought my eviscerating knife just for that purpose.
So who wants to go next? Shall I or shall you?
I'll go for it.
Oh, putting me in the last place. That's great. I like
well, you're
the time
the host.
to prepare.
I figure, we should go from one end to the other.
I thought you were going to say something like from best to worst or worst to best, or either way you were going to piss somebody off.
I was going to piss somebody off, and I got to be careful because my girlfriend is in here with us. So
true.
I
have no issues pissing David off. It's actually entertaining when I see him pissed off.
I'm just worried about, like I said, I don't want to piss off my girlfriend, and Slimebeast is my girlfriend. So
Zing! I'm the girlfriend of horror fans everywhere.
It's kind of true, unless you are a certain popular narrator.
Or his wannabes.
Yeah.
So yeah, he sounds hideous. This Slimebeast fellow.
It's probably why he wears a mask and goggles everywhere, just in case he happens to run into you.
Oh. Oh, man.
Any opportunity. Anyway. Here. Like, in an effort to not kiss your ass, I have sought far and wide for a creepypasta to vouch for. And it's actually kind of a difficult question, only because I don't think a lot of creepypasta do lend themselves well to the idea of film.
I actually do agree to that, because the purpose of a creepypasta is to give the idea that this could happen to you in real life. And it's supposed to leave everything open-ended. Movies try to give things more clarity. Or not more clarity, but a bit more closure. You can't... Very rarely does it keep it open-ended in terms of a scary movie.
I mean, shitty movies leave it open-ended and don't explain anything.
Now, this is assuming we're trying to make good movies.
Yes.
We can talk about ideally shitty movies or parody movies, but I think the purpose of the discussion is like, how would we do a fairly serious adaptation of a creepypasta?
Right.
So
my choice would actually be Tulpa.
Ooh.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
And I can vouch for it only because as a story, it's pretty bare bones, but the meat of it is substantial enough that if you expanded it, you could make something really cool with it. So I can vouch for it too, because I did adapt that one pretty radically for Midnight Marinera. So I have some experience with it as a story and as a potential for good horror, and I think it's pretty unique in terms of like way to do sort of the evil doppelganger kind of story.
Can I put in a second option too?
I just realized we should tell people what the stories are about.
Oh, that's a good point.
Oh, yeah.
We could come back around and give a little summary once we get to it.
Right.
We'll do a pitch. We'll basically pretend one of the other two are development executives, and we're trying to pitch a movie.
We're all standing awkwardly in an elevator together, and one of us is the devil. So.
And we need to find a vehicle for Nicolas Cage.
Actually, I do have a second option. The Russian sleep experiment. I think that could actually turn out well one of the reasons why it does have to do with dealing with insanity as well. And usually if done well, like if you get like not David Lynch, I was going to say David Fincher. For something like that could do well.
I
thought you were going to say like a found footage thing or something.
Oh God, no! That's already been overdone.
As if I wasn't advertising my show enough. When I did the Russian sleep experiment, I did it as found audio.
Ooh.
Yeah, you're supposed to be listening to the reel-to-reel like tapes recorded by the Russian scientists in the 40s, and they're the reason, and it goes all like clinical. They talk about everything very matter of fact, like all the wounds and stuff, as if they're just giving a medical report, which to me kind of justifies some of the over-the-top aspects of the story.
He's laying there like corpse. I think he is dead. We'll check with my boss tomorrow.
Someone once said in the comments,
in Soviet Russia, death becomes you.
Oh.
I was gonna say, someone said in the comments is like, I think the Russian accents are pretty good in this one, which is saying something because my actors are trying, but it's like, is this a Red October equivalent? Like,
what?
Like everybody's just everybody's speaking English, but they have Russian accents. So, but
English is the language of science, though.
Well, this is true. Or German in some aspects.
But your choice would be Tulpa.
Yeah, no, that being said, my choice is Tulpa. I'm just basing that kind of off of what Kayla said earlier about the Russian sleep the Russian sleep experiment being her second choice. I don't really have a second choice. I'd thought about it. There's a couple other ones. I do have a second choice, but that's beside the point. And no one knows my second choice. No one knows that story. I hope people would know it.
And no one ever will know it because you're not going to tell them.
No, I'm not going to tell them. It's the Shadow over Chillicothe.
God damn it.
Which is a relatively obscure one, but that was handled, which is actually, I think, only exclusively done as a series of audio/video pastas. So, but
so you don't have a director, you don't have an actor.
Yeah, you just have some guy talking to you.
Well, I mean, for your pitch, you don't have anything. Someone else came into this on like 10 minutes notice, and had a story, and had, an unknown child actor would star. But you don't have any. You don't have any director.
The difference between David and I is I've actually worked in the development departments of TV shows and movie.
Which is why we're glad to have you on, because we thought you could give us some insight about the process of of how a pitch goes from a pitch to a film, and the likelihood of how some of these movies might actually potentially get up there. Kind of getting through all the corporate bullshit.
That's true. That's why we planned months in advance.
It's a natural gift. I can actually say, okay, what movie could work based off my knowledge? This one.
Well, is it my turn yet? Because I'm about to bury both you fools.
All right.
Go
for it.
How many of you, of the two of you, how many of you have read The House That Death Forgot?
No, never.
Interesting. I guess later on when we give our pitch, I'll tell you. But basically,
I am actually familiar with that one.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
The House That Death Forgot is a little-known creepypasta, I guess, compared to the big-name ones that you've heard of. More
Isn't it a
often.
relatively recent one?
Say what?
Isn't it a relatively new one too?
I don't know how. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know.
All right,
It depends how recent is. I think it's been up at least a year. I don't know.
Okay.
But I don't know. But yeah, The House That Death Forgot. I'll give just a taste of the story. It's about a place where once you go into the bed and breakfast type house in the middle of nowhere, you are not allowed to leave. And if you leave, you will be killed in a horrible way, but you don't die. You just have to keep living in this house, and every time you go out, you get more and more mangled. And I'll go into more detail later. But
it's Death Becomes Her meets Hotel California.
Sort of, but not. Yeah, basically. But my director would actually be Wes Craven.
Ooh.
Because it takes place in a house, and as you know, he did Last House on the Left. It has a group of mangled characters that, sort of are not known as to their intentions. Maybe in a film version, it's sort of played at in the story. It's not really, played up as their mysterious characters, but in a movie you might, which, is reminiscent of maybe The Hills Have Eyes, which Wes Craven also did. He's, that I like to put the humor in, the little touches, light touches
Right.
here and there amongst the gore. So, you
Right.
have him doing a Nightmare on Elm Street and Scream and things like that, which had,
He knows how to balance humor and horror.
Right. So, I think this is sort of like almost a cabin in the woods type story, of that genre, yet I don't think it has been done that way on film before, where it's basically a zombie house where you're not allowed to leave, and you become one of the zombie people, and you just, if you may want to try to mount an escape, but every time you're going to be sent back. So it's kind of a dark story. So
I like it.
that would be my choice.
Good. I'd say that's a good choice. With my familiarity with the story, and I'd say, yeah, wow. I'm glad we had different ideas because I had almost considered pitching that one too.
How dare you? Well, I had almost considered Tulpa, which I haven't read. So there.
Oh. Ah.
Slimy, you win. You totally just won that. Actually,
Okay.
As someone who has worked with development executives, that would have been picked up.
Well, let's not go too far here. I mean, there's still plenty
Yeah.
of time to tell me how great my own story is.
So yeah, what's
Wait, did you actually write this creepypasta?
Which one?
The one you just pitched?
No, Whimsywood I'm talking about.
no,
I'm
well,
saying
I
you have
know
time to
Whimsy,
tell me
but-
how great my own story is.
Oh, God.
He's basically saying it's your turn.
Oh, it's my turn to pitch?
Yeah, we're doing our pitches
Okay.
for those out there who don't know the stories.
Okay, so Whimsywood is about a child who goes on a road trip with his parents. He's bored, but along the way spots a sign that says, "Come to Whimsywood." He begs his parents to stop, and eventually they decide to. They go in, but not all is right when, after going on a ride, he discovers that the parents have forgotten the children, and his own parents have forgotten him.
That's not bad.
It sounds
some-
that story to me sounds like a cliche-ridden trope storm.
That's how it does. That's how it goes in the development executive thing. You make it sound as tropey and as do you know how often someone will say it's this movie meets this movie?
Well,
It's this book meets this movie.
let me ask you something. How easy is the author to work with on legal matters?
He sucks ass at it.
I
actually
see.
no,
I
you know.
see.
You know what? It might be very difficult to work with this man. He will not.
Yeah, but
Did you ever see the movie Saving Mr. Banks? Yeah, he's gonna be just like P.L.
P.L.
Travers.
Travers.
Snap.
Oh.
No,
I
actually,
always saw
Crowder.
myself more as a fantastic Mr. Ripley, but that's fine.
oh god. Actually, it's the talented Mr. Ripley.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's the Fantastic Fox. Fantastic
it's
Mr.
the
Fox
talented Mr. Fox.
meets the talented Mr. Ripley. That's my pitch.
There we go.
For you?
No. But anyway.
So you're gonna do so now you're pitching the house that wouldn't die as
What?
or the house that
Yeah.
death forgot. I'm sorry.
Oh, you already gave a summary.
No, I'm just saying that I want to make a statement here is that you're saying that the house that death forgot is going to be a Henry Selick claymation movie.
Oh
Can't
my
you picture all the red yarn coming out of people's guts? And
Yeah.
God. I could see Whimsywood as a Henry Selick film, like something Coraline like.
Actually, that would be really cool. Like visually.
As if who made what's the new the LASIK, is that their name? The production
Leica?
company.
You mean Leica?
Leica, that's it. Leica production company. I could see Whimsywood being a Leica production film.
For those of you who don't know, Leica is this company that did like Coraline, Paranorman, and the Box Trolls.
if they were picked up by Virgin Entertainment, would they be called like a Virgin?
Oh, that would be amazing.
But anyway,
But
yeah, so you're saying basically that, and everybody get ready below to comment if you believe that Kayla's story, Whimsywood, or Kayla's Choice Whimsywood, as a claymation story would be good.
Well, I support that decision. I just support it in general. Although you definitely gotta like for that to succeed as a movie, you really gotta either find ways to add more stuff or really play with the subtlety of it. Like it feels like it'd be a really good like artsy horror film more than anything.
I think you're right. I don't think it actually could work as claymation if it's going back and forth. Because in claymation, it has to be completely from the point of view of the child, in terms if you're going to do a Leica production, and that's what
It would be a really dark movie. Consider if it stays really true and doesn't have a happy ending.
Well, yeah. I mean, I always like with horror movies, there tends not to be a happy ending.
Yeah, I'm
It's
saying
always,
with Leica movies, there tends to be a happy ending, even
Yeah,
in
I
their
don't-
really dark stuff.
now the more I think about it, I don't think it should be a Leica production. I don't think it should, because I think what could be interesting if it switched between. No, you know what? I was going to say switch between the person now, the older guy now, and the child. It would probably be better if it stayed from the point of view of the child. But I think, yeah, you could play more with the subtlety of it, and there has to be added actions. I wouldn't want it to go over the top like an explosion or anything like that. But I would love to see more hints of like the monster, or have a better idea of it.
Or at least more slowly building. Like one of the things that works is like more slowly building sort of unnerving stuff that happens while he's checking out this like roadside amusement park. You know,
Exactly.
You can always make the amusement park more elaborate too.
That's another thing I was
a
gonna
little bit,
suggest
a
as
little bit
well.
more like a off the beaten track kind of. Like less a permanent carnival and more of like this was like a Santa's Village style theme park.
Satan's Village. There you go.
Yeah,
It's a village.
there was a locally.
Oops, somebody messed up the sign.
Now we have to change everything else to fit it.
Yeah, it was those dyslexic devil worshippers. You know, that's the only reason.
One of you, there's a
Santa's
place called-
Village. Oh, that sounds nice.
There's a place called the Holy Land Experience in down in Florida.
Oh fuck, I've heard of that place. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I have a friend who has all the pictures of it. It's the most beautiful experience. Could you imagine if Whimsy was setting with the Holy Land?
Oh, jeez.
Live crucifixions.
Oh. Live crucifixions, followed by deceased crucifixions, followed by...
Get your
man.
picture get your picture carrying the cross down the road.
Boy.
Jesus
No
Christ,
taking-
Jesus Christ.
You know what the problem is, though? When they take the picture of them carrying the cross down the road, there's always some joker that pulls her shirt up.
Oh. Oh my god. Hey, would there be a ride that's like Splash Mountain, except it's instead of riding in water, like it starts out you're riding in water and then it turns to wine midway through it?
Ooh. It turns
Oh,
to
I want
wine,
to go
but
on
then
that.
later turns to blood.
Ooh.
So this is what you do. You open. Oh wait, but then if the wine turns to blood while you're drinking it,
Ooh.
Dude, you know what? Revelations Land would be the best because there'd be there'd be 4 roller coasters that circle each other: war, pestilence, famine, and death.
Ooh.
I want to go on that right
And they'd
now.
be steeplechase roller coasters, so you're actually riding on horses.
Maybe they could have like a Four Horsemen themed merry-go-round or something.
Ooh,
I like the fact we're now developing a new theme park.
Bible
Yes.
Land.
Awesome.
Okay, but
You must be
no,
this tall to be judged, but yeah.
there'd be one ride that's the Stairway to Heaven, and another ride that's the Bullet Train to Hell.
Ooh. Well, I know which one sounds more fun. The Stairway
yeah.
is just going to
The
be
bullet
like hell.
For sure.
Stairway
sure.
to Heaven is actually hell. That's interesting.
It's actually it's just a line. Like honestly, you get to the top and they're like, "Okay, you did it." You wait, that was the ride? Yeah, exactly.
I'm just picturing, they have like a single ride, which is like, we dedicated one ride to all the unbelievers, and you just are on this big long roped off line, and you get to the end, and you're like, "There's nothing here," and they're like, "Exactly."
Oh my god. It's just a big empty like space.
Yes.
Nothing
You mean
there.
I waited all this time and went through all that struggle for nothing? Yep. Here you go. That's the experience.
The atheism experience.
Atheist theme park. That would be great.
Oh.
Oh man.
Oh my god.
Co-
Okay, well,
Theolist land. There's nothing. Exactly.
agnostic land. Maybe there's something here. I don't know.
Yeah.
I thought I saw something, but I'm not sure it's really there.
Oh man.
But yeah.
Your turn, David.
Oh, okay. Are we done? I mean, well, wait. We started to turn pitching session into discussion session, so I guess we should actually just
Okay.
keep it on track.
So that's my plan. I think it would work as a good horror movie from the point of view of a child, and keep up the subtlety. But it's all going to be from his point of view. So David, like one of the great things about Steven Universe is that there's a lot of deep things going on, but it's still all from his point of view.
Yeah, exactly. Like subtle kind of storytelling where there's a bigger picture and you get it, but maybe Steven doesn't so much.
Exactly. It would be the same with this one, similar to how the story would work with Whimsywood.
That's cool. Now, the question is, in Whimsywood, can we get Joel Hodgson to do a voice?
Yes. Yes. I just want to hear, even if it's just Joel Hodgson slurping.
Okay. Is that like your ringtone, I guess?
Yeah. I thought that was yours. Or at least that's the one that plays whenever you call me, like, in the middle of the night. You hear...
That's not the ringtone.
Slime Beast, hang on. Hello? And you're just like, hey, baby, how you doing?
That's the sound you hear after you pick up.
Yeah,
I thought it was
I'm still good for that podcast on Wednesday. Let's go.
I thought his ringtone would be the lumberjacks sounds.
Ooh.
Actually, that I have a question because a bunch of people by this point have narrated Whimsywood, and a lot of them do use, me included, I'm guilty of this, the Miu piano like Lumberjack Dan thing.
Right.
Lumberjack song. Now, I'm curious, when you wrote that, did you have a particular tune in mind, or did you just or for the Lumberjack Dan, or?
Well, I mean, it probably sounds like bullshit, but pretty much the tune he came up with is pretty much exactly what I was thinking. I mean, it's hard to even differentiate now between if there's any difference between what he came up with and what I was thinking, but the lyrics kind of just lend themselves to that one tune. I don't know, it's weird.
No, it makes sense. It's actually really it's pretty fitting. Like, you can actually put the lyrics to the tune really easily.
Right. Because any song of, like a childhood song or something like that, where it repeats like that first line and things like that, it's always that type of thing where it's like da 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 da.
Yeah, exactly. And plus, we're talking about lumberjacks, so it has kind of a jolly, like, lumberjacks, that's what we know.
Killing hoes. But yeah.
I figured it'd be attuned to like something from Seven Brides for Seven Brothers or something.
But yeah, I was just curious. And then the question, do you like the ditty he came up with?
Yeah, I mean, it's, as I said, it's hard to imagine anything different than that. I don't know. It's weird.
Huh.
I mean, if you tried to do something completely like a departure from that, I don't know if it would work, with the lyrics. Because it's pretty fitting.
Can I ask a really stalkerish question?
You can ask.
How was it like working on Dawson's Creek? He's like, I knew this was coming.
It was fine, I guess. I mean, I could tell you a lot of things about the people that were on the show, but
no, I don't care.
I don't know if this is really the place for that.
I just wanted to ask the question just so you can say it was fine or something of that nature. I didn't really need to hear.
Let's see if I can come up with a very quick way of saying the most horrible things I know about the cast. Rapid fire. Okay.
Now you do realize we're still recording, right?
Oh yeah. I don't care. I mean, if anything, it's more views.
Let's go for it. Go for it.
Here's my completely fictitious, made up comedy spoof satire of what the people on Dawson's Creek were like. You had Katie Holmes, who was a big drinker. You had James Van Der Beek, who avoided meeting any fans or anybody like that, like the plague, would look around corners, see a fan, and run the other way. You had Joshua Jackson, who slept with one of the stand-ins. You had Michelle Williams, who was said to go to bars and go home with a different guy every night. That's the rapid fire, completely made up, speculatory spoof satire of what those people were like on that show.
The more you know.
Yes.
Although that's not anything surprising, though.
Oh, no. But I mean, at the time, people probably would have been surprised.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
Mm.
And that probably will be cut out. So anyway.
Yeah.
On to the next story.
Right. Is it my turn?
Yes.
Okay. So, for those of you who don't know, Tulpa, the pitch for Tulpa. So,
For
Tulpa
anybody
is...
out there who hasn't read it, who's like a complete dullard.
Oh yeah, give a summary, David.
All right. Tulpa is essentially...
God.
Oh, if you stop talking, I'll fucking say it, okay? Jesus Christ. No, I'm just messing.
Welcome to the end of a relationship, live on Jumpscared.
You know what? Done.
Kayla just like ends the call.
Excuse me while I pout.
Mic drop.
I actually heard a mic drop. There you go.
Ooh.
Tulpa is the story of a lovely lady who
is bringing up 3 very lovely corpses.
All of them had hair once, but it rotted off. Tulpa is actually the story of a guy who, I guess kind of down on his luck, who takes a job doing this odd research experiment for, some odd amount of money every week. Decent paying job. All he's asked to do is sit in a room with a bunch of diodes attached to him and imagine his double, his Tulpa, his thought form, sitting in front of him, and progressively interact with them more and more. At first it's difficult, and they start introducing more and more distractions, but then it gets easier, and he starts sort of using his Tulpa to, recall things from his subconscious and do all kinds of odd things that he didn't think possible. They start getting along, everything's great. And then the Tulpa starts doing things that are a little bit unusual, a little bit out of the norm. Bad things, creepy things.
It develops a foot fetish.
More like an addiction to bad music.
He goes to his computer and his porn history is different. Wait a minute.
Normal porn for normal people. What the?
I don't remember favoriting Barbie.avi. So
why is she so uncomfortable with her skin?
And then, oh gosh. Well, basically, he starts realizing maybe he's not as in control of his Tulpa as he thought. Maybe the Tulpa's the one that's in control. And then things start getting weirder and weirder. So,
and it turns out he is the Tulpa. Dun, dun, dun.
Twilight Zone.
No.
Dun dun dun.
Tonight on Night Gallery.
That sounded so enthusiastic. I would like to see that host. Tonight on Night Gallery.
He exists. He's called Rod Serling. No.
Do not attempt to adjust your television. We are taking control.
For the
Rod
next
Serling was always kind of like, he was more like disinterested in your well-being. Like, here's a story you don't want to see. And once you see it, you'll go mad. Anyway, here it goes, bitches.
Which is why he was such an endearing host. Although really part of it was because he was ridiculously camera shy.
Yeah, the one thing I was always confused by, he always had a cigarette in his hand. Never smoked it though. It just kind of used it as a prop.
It's kind of like the G-Man.
The G-Man?
Oh yeah, you haven't played Half-Life.
No.
She should wait for Half-Life 3.
That's going to be a long wait. When asked to comment about when we would get Half-Life 3, Gabe Newell only responded, "I hate sharks."
What? I like turtles, though.
Ah, I know you do, actually. You've told me this before. That one time when you were at the carnival and you were dressed as a zombie. You were just like, "Hey, so what's it like being a zombie?" "I like turtles."
Yes. And it sent a shiver down everyone's spine.
Not as bad as the turtle guy from Master of Disguise.
Oh.
I create bad things.
Do you want to hear? Do you want to hear my impression of him?
No.
Turtle. There. That's the entire impression.
Good job. I'm proud of you.
Turtle. Anyway, back to your David Fincher, Tulpa,
David Fincher's Tulpa.
Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Are we just going to assume David Fincher's directing every single one of these films?
David Fincher's Day of All the Blood.
David Fincher's The Dead Skull.
Yeah.
David Fincher's Jeff the Killer.
Ooh. I think
Jeff
is it Uwe Boll who's quit filmmaking? I think
Uwe Boll.
Yeah, he did that a bit too soon. He should have done Jeff the Killer. I don't know.
He could have done Jeff the Killer. I would watch Uwe Boll's Jeff the Killer. It's got to be better than the original story.
Back to Kickstarter, dude.
There you go.
But yeah.
Let's do it. Let's kickstart a Jeff the Killer movie.
Yeah.
That would
Movies
actually
we'll never
probably get a
pitch.
lot of money.
It would, and then everyone's gonna be disappointed when we're completely self-aware and just make fun of them and the story and anybody who likes Jeff the Killer the entire time.
You know who
That's
would
why-
actually make a very good Jeff the Killer movie would be the Coen brothers.
You know,
I
I
would-
could see it.
I
Holy
would
shit,
wanna
I could
see
see
that.
it.
I mean, it would be more about the people around him, but still.
Well, anybody around Jeff is more interesting than Jeff.
Actually, that might not be the worst idea. Come to think about it, in terms of Jeff the Killer, let's focus on the characters around Jeff. Because let's face it, Jeff the Killer is a whiny little bitch.
Well, I mean, that could go both ways, though, because you could get Michael Bay's Jeff the Killer with Megan Fox as Jane. So
You know, it's funny. We haven't touched. I've yet to touch on Jane the Killer at all.
you've
in
yet
anything
to touch
I've
Jane
done.
the Killer.
I don't want to touch Jane the Killer. She might touch me first, and it would be bad touch.
Ooh.
Bad.
What is her
Bad
catchphrase
touch.
again?
Does she have a catchphrase?
I don't know. It should be something like "wake up" or something.
Wake
Oh wait,
up.
I think it's "don't go to sleep."
Don't go to sleep.
I think.
More like don't ignore. More like don't do anything about Jeff's catchphrase because it's stupid and dumb.
I thought you were gonna say "don't do drugs." Like that would be your catchphrase.
kids,
Don't do drugs,
no.
kids.
Jeff's is don't go to sleep. James is if someone tries to touch you in a place or in a way that makes you feel uncomfortable, that's no good.
Or you can just say no.
Just say no, kids.
Just say no.
Just say no, no, please God, no, not the face, no. So
What's,
yeah,
Not the-
Yeah, so that got completely sidetracked. I don't
David
care.
Fincher's Tulpa.
What?
Fincher's Tulpa.
David Fincher's Tulpa. Although, yeah, you know, I'm having a hard time thinking. Kevin Smith's Tulpa.
Oh, jeez.
Featuring Jay and Silent Bob.
Kevin Smith's strangest security tape I've ever seen, featuring Clerks.
That actually kind of works. Except instead of what's the name of the creepy guy?
Kevin Smith.
No, from the fucking story. From
are you talking about that the creepypasta about the tapes that have to do with that go travel in time sort of thing?
Right, time paradox, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. I can't remember his name. Wasn't it like Jake or something like that?
Oh, okay. I thought you meant creepy guy from Clerks. I was like, oh.
no, everybody in Clerks is creepy, but
No, I can remember the names of the guys from Clerks. I'm having trouble remembering the guys from that time paradox creepypasta.
So-
I was just gonna say like Silent Bob could be that guy, and you know Jay could be the guy who looks at the tapes, and you could just see him like the part where he gets startled by his face right up in the camera. He just jumps back. He's just like motherfuck.
Ugh. And Silent Bob, of course, as emotive as usual, just kind of arches an eyebrow as he looks into the camera.
Yes.
Eyes wide and like, I'm not sure how to handle this.
Yep. Smoking weed.
It's hard to imagine, though, Kevin Smith making, in a time paradox, making the same thing over and over.
No, he did try to do. Kevin Smith did do a horror movie.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I like how you started out with tried to.
Well,
He
it
did
depends.
try
What
to
do
make a
what do you
horror
think
movie.
about? Oh God, Tusk.
Yeah.
You know.
I did see Tusk. That was weird. I
So
was I wasn't sure what to make of it. I'm still not sure what to make of
I,
it.
I feel like Kevin Smith could do a great self-aware creepypasta movie
I think so too.
and still have it be actually like a horror movie, but it would be it would know what it's doing the entire time.
Like that, what is it, Red State? Or something like that?
Yeah, exactly.
Kevin Smith's Texas Blood.
Oh man.
So is it my turn now or what?
I guess
Yes.
I feel like I had something and then it went away.
God,
Yeah,
guys,
you
this is
just-
my show. I want to go.
You frittered away your time talking about Sonic the Hedgehog. I don't know why. But yeah.
EXE, fuckers, come on.
The House That Death Forgot is
Let's
about
go.
a woman named Melinda who, of course, finds her way to Granny Royce's Roadhouse. And, of course, goes to stay there for the night and can't leave because there's actually a serial killer outside of supernatural origins who will dice you up and leave you a living corpse. You don't even get the peace of death. And if you try to leave the house, he will always be there. He's just referred to as him. Pardon me. Him and he and stuff like that. So, yeah, I mean, basically he's like a Jeff the Killer ripoff, if I'm being honest, because it says he has pale skin and a big grin, and, But, looking past that part, I think that if you had Wes Craven, you could have sort of a opening a first half, where you don't really know what's up with the residents of this roadhouse. They're kind of creepy. They're kind of, some of them you're not allowed to see.
Is Patrick Swayze in it?
I was just
Patrick-
about to ask that exact same question.
First of all, too soon.
There's high five, David. Next.
Second of all, nobody puts Jeff in the corner. But yeah, nobody puts
You kept
Slendy in
saying
the corner.
Roadhouse.
actually,
What
to
else
work
am I
better.
going to say but Patrick Swayze?
Roadhouse.
Really?
If you try to leave the house, he spin kicks you in the head.
He's the
Roadhouse.
bouncer of
It turns out the serial killer is just a really bad bouncer.
Yeah,
He keeps people in instead of keeping people out.
that's right. You're not cool enough to leave. Get back in there. But yeah. So, as
Yeah.
I said, the first part would be you don't really know what's up with the residents of the place. They're kind of creepy. You're not allowed to see some of them. And then, as it turns out, the real threat is from outside, and she can never leave.
And
Etc.
the
and so
Eagles will
forth.
make a song about it and it'll be great.
No. Never happened.
So, all right. I'm trying to
Welcome
think
to the
what
hotel. Kill your ass.
Yeah.
kill.
kill your ass.
Welcome to the Hotel Cauliflower.
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 California.
Wow.
Ugh.
California.
Oh God, no.
Damn.
Cat.
Um,
Sorry, did I scare you?
California. California.
So now we're
Here we
referencing,
go.
if I'm correct, we're referencing The Wizard,
Yes.
a movie
Yes.
about Nintendo
Yes.
that featured a game nobody had played, yet everybody was an expert in.
Yes.
Mario 3.
Yes.
I just wanted to be clear about that.
It's Jeff Bridges.
The Power Glove.
I forgot Jeff
And
Bridges
Lucas.
was in it.
Who wins, Iron Man or Jeff Bridges with the Power Glove?
Oh, why do you have to make that so hard?
I can't even answer this.
I mean, I love the Power Glove. It's so bad.
Oh, man.
Can I just say though, like you said, the entity outside him.
Right.
He's basically a Jeff the Killer ripoff. When Jeff the Killer is basically a Heath Ledger's Joker ripoff,
Which is
It's really
basically
bad.
an Itchy the Killer ripoff.
Which is basically a
Tom and Jerry ripoff.
Which is basically a total ripoff of the Blue Man Group.
Actually,
which is basically a total ripoff of Cirque du Soleil somehow.
speaking, when you mentioned the time paradox, there's actually a creepypasta called The Time Paradox, and it frustrates me to no end because it's like got a high rating. It's like, this is a great idea, and I'm like, fuck you guys. This is based off this. This is the summary of a famous short story called "All You Zombies" by Robert Heinlein. Why is this still on here?
Wow.
See, she knows her shit.
Damn right. So, with that outburst of unbridled rage, take that into account when you pick who wins. In the comments below, everybody.
Well, we still haven't had a chance. Okay, so we've done the pitch. We've done pitches. We've
Right.
done well. We talked about a movie. We've done our pitches. Now let's talk about how they would work or how they wouldn't work.
Right, and let me start off. No, I guess we go in order again.
Tell me, Slime Beast, how do you think Whimsy Wood won't work? I really want to hear this.
Here's the thing: are you really going to get people in theater seats to see people with plastic unicorn horns on their heads who possibly cannibalize children
Yes.
in a rundown amusement park based on...
This movie is for the horror movie fans who are also fans of things like Juno or
Oh, jeez.
June.
or Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist.
Ellen Page as the carnival worker.
She's the one whose breath smells like urine.
Yeah. She's like, so you gonna get on the ride, kid? Are you gonna be here all day? Come on, let's go.
She's gonna bump your crotch in a way that's gonna make you extremely uncomfortable.
No, the
Just
same
like
reason
real
why
life.
people. I actually do have an answer to this. It's the same reason why people are like, oh my god, I'm so addicted to Five Nights at Freddy's. Is the same reason why people would enjoy this. Because everybody has been to some random ass carnival slash
Keep going.
amusement park, and it's a part of their childhood. There was always something creepy about a carnival. There was always something creepy about like one of those fairs that had rickety old rides that didn't work so well. And it's the same with Chuck E. Cheese. Everybody went to Chuck E. Cheese as a kid, and there was something a bit creepy about seeing that Chuck E. Cheese animatronic. And as a result, the game played on a fear that everybody was thinking about at the time when they were kids.
Well,
Same
I
thing
will
with
give you points.
Whimsy Wood does the same thing.
I will give you points because, unlike Five Nights at Freddy's, you've actually picked something with a story. But yeah, I mean, you know, it's like,
But that's
how
why I
many
think
movies do you actually see about child murder, though? I mean, you know, you see
there's
things where
actually-
children are in peril.
Freddy
Hold on.
Krueger. Anything with Freddy Krueger.
World Tech. I mean, what do you mean child? Because there's a lot of teen killer movies.
Well, hold on. I mean, it's implied in the first Nightmare on Elm Street that Freddy Krueger.
But then, and let's not
Freddy
forget,
Fazbear.
Freddy
killed
the
children.
Killer.
Freddy versus Jason. Freddy goes to New York. You know.
But here's another thing. It's something that's supernatural killing kids. When you just have like, oh, it's just a person, then people automatically think like, ooh, that's not good. If it's something supernatural,
They're
that's
like,
about to kill
cool.
Not-
Child
not
murder.
cool, not
Fucking
cool.
kids.
So it's not the fact that it's cool. It's something. There's a distance. So it's kind of like when you make a character unrealistic. That's incredibly unrealistic as the villain. You don't relate to them, and as a result, you don't feel for them. And usually in those cases, it doesn't work. But in this case, it could work. So when you have something supernatural, something unknown that's killing kids, people don't put themselves in that character. So they feel for the kids, but not for, they don't think, oh my God, this supernatural creature is going to come kill our kids. No, they know that's not real. That's why they would be more likely to see that than. And and with your story, how would you know that they're actually killing? You hear that they're drinking from them, but you don't know what that means.
That is true.
They're just drinking. They're just drinking. I don't know. Whatever.
You hear chewing and slurping.
That could be it.
Sly son of a bitch.
But
I was all ready to say, how many movies have you actually seen where they kill children and not that it has to be the typical Hollywood thing of, woo, at least the kid is okay in the end. but then you had to go and say you don't actually see them get killed. Oh, God damn it.
I told you.
I have a talent at this. It's something I actually can do really well.
High five over the internet. Ready?
Yeah.
Well, it's not good for you though, because you're gonna have to defend your own your own choice.
But the reason why it also could work, it does play on that fear, and also, because the idea is not to make you feel sorry for the kid. It's for you to look back and think, wow, that is scary. If I did when I went to that sort of stuff as a child, it's playing on a fear that you had as a kid. That's why Five Nights at Freddy's works as a video game. Same, and it plays on something that you were a bit uncomfortable with.
Would you actually kill a chicken though for the movie?
I mean,
PETA would be on your ass so fast.
I couldn't do a live.
The chicken. To be fair, the chicken.
The 70s. This isn't apocalypse now. I can't kill a live animal on a movie anymore.
Oh.
You sound so disappointed.
What I can say is that you get a good realistic prop dead chicken. I mean, you don't see the chicken die. It's dead when it shows up in the story.
True.
And that's a dark thing.
Yeah, that's that's the reason I think it would work as a movie, because I really like. I really like subtle creepy, like uncomfortable creepy. And this is a movie would be full of that's those images, you know?
And another thing is some of the most best horror films, or the ones that took the best chances, usually involved kids. Look at Exorcist. Everybody was like, holy crap, that kid is scary, and I can't believe they brought a kid into this. But at the same time, everybody knows what The Exorcist is. It's still scary to this day. Same with
Poltergeist had kids in it.
Well, yeah.
Home Alone.
Yeah, that was
best horror movie.
Best horror movie I've ever seen. Okay, I was going to actually say Halloween. They made the kid the killer. That's actually an interesting thing.
Oh my God. Young Michael Myers is Jeff the Killer.
Ooh.
There you go. I figured it out. There, we found the origin of Jeff the Killer.
And then somebody bought him a William Shatner mask.
There's a way, if you bend the rules just a bit, like with this story, that it actually could do well. And people would come to see it. Because one, it is a horror movie genre. So you already got the genre film for people to come see it. But two, you got an interesting plot line and story to want people to stay longer.
Now, would you call the film Whimsywood, or would you call it something like Insidious, Sinister, Nasty, and all these one-word names that they come out with?
Actually, Whimsywood could still work, but it has to do with marketing. Now,
whimsical. No,
but here's the reason why. With marketing, did you know that whenever you see the budget for a film, they do not include marketing, and marketing actually is about like usually half the budget. It takes up a lot. It's not added into there. There's a lot of money that goes into marketing. And Whimsywood could do well in the marketing standpoint, in that if you put it on a banner or you put it on a poster and it says Whimsywood, but it looks kind of creepy, it follows the theme of the story itself. Something that you remember from your childhood that usually people think of as a happy time, but there was something a bit off about it. And Whimsywood does have that. Because it's like, Whimsywood, it sounds cheerful, but there's something a bit off about it.
The one way, that's actually one cool marketing gimmick you could do for a movie, for Whimsywood as a movie, would be to like have billboards that say games, rides, animals, family fun, and have them look all run down and messed up, and then
you could do a lot with the marketing for this to catch people's attention.
It's like you're actually selling them, come to this theme park.
So what I'm hearing basically is that I should hire the two of you to contact people in Hollywood about a Whimsywood movie. That's what I'm hearing.
Pretty
Funny
much,
enough-
we're in your camp on this one, it seems.
Oh, boy.
Believe it or not, I actually do know some people.
Well, there you go.
Make it happen, Kayla.
That's right.
No,
Make it
that's-
happen. Let's get Whimsywood. Let's get Whimsywood made into a movie.
Just
We
think
have-
you could cast David as somebody in the movie.
No.
What? That's bull. Come on.
You know what'll happen is there'll
I'll
be
be
a
the
scene.
ass end of the pantomime unicorn.
There you go. I was going to say there'll be a scene in the movie where the kid goes up to an arcade machine, and then there'll just be this random guy who's David saying, "Don't play that. It's Skull and Crossbow." And then that'll be it. The one line.
Just the one line of David doing that.
Don't play that. It's cursed.
I'll wink at the camera as I do it.
Hi, Mom!
You'll go,
Runs
"Don't play
away.
that. It's Skull and Crossbow. It's cursed." And then you'll look directly at the camera, wink, and say, "Attract mode movie." And do like a shrug, you know.
Like, oh, you'll be funny as if the kid's playing the game and I'm watching him in the background. Suddenly it says, Ed is hopping mad, and he turns and that comes up on screen. I read it aloud. He turns around and I just nod and then walk away.
Jeez. You put a quarter down on the machine. I got next.
Oh man.
Anyway,
So is there any other way we could potentially debunk Whimsywood as a movie? Because I guess my thought would be like you'd really have to add some more stuff in order for it to work.
Well,
Unfortunately,
But that's the thing.
but you'd really want to
to
make every moment feel kind of like leading to something, or have things feel generally kind of uncomfortable and weird.
I mean, it's something where if you like explain the history of the park, that could be something that torpedoes the whole story. If it's
That could be that could be something. Like there could be an additional scene where, oh yeah, that's a good point. Or you're saying torpedo in a good way or in a bad way?
in a bad way, like
That's
when
what I
you
meant.
see a movie and it's like oh, there's this mysterious thing happening, and then you find out it's because of this sacred vow that this person made on their wedding day in the year 1840, and it's like,
No,
oh fuck.
you don't need with this one. You don't need the history. You just got to keep the scare. You have to have scares, which it does. You do. So there has to be a couple. It does need to be longer. There does need to be extra stuff. You don't need to know the history or what's going on, but there needs to be a few scares.
All right. Well, you could
or something, or make it uncomfortable or scary.
Would you when you adapt this movie, Kayla? Would you have jump scares, or would you try to play off more of the general creeping sense of dread that comes through the movie?
The general sense of dread that comes through this movie.
How are you going to sell it to Hollywood? Because Hollywood only cares about cheap jump scares.
Not. You gotta get the right. So you have to find the right one. So there was I actually did speak. I did speak to the guy who used to be the chair or CEO of Universal Pictures.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez.
And he told me.
And what did you think of Whimsywood?
I really wish I could say that. Well, one of the things he said was because at the time they were preparing the movie 50 Shades of Grey. Now, okay, whatever comments you have aside, so the reason why he said that they're going to make this movie, he said, do you know how many romantic erotic books come out every year? There's so many. Why did this one catch everybody's attention? There's something there. That's why we're making this movie. It's the same case with this. Why? This is something a bit different. I mean, there's so many scary movies that come up every year, or scary stories come out every year. Why was this the one that caught people's attention? Why did this get a lot of views?
Because I paid them.
With your scads and scads of money you get by
Yes.
suing everybody.
$10
Yes.
to read the story. $20 if you post about it somewhere else.
And $50 if you narrate it, right?
I
could
didn't
just-
know that.
As
didn't know
sort
you
of like my
dated
closing
for-
jab at this. This is like my final ditch effort. I can only just picture people on the internet, on Twitter, on Rotten Tomatoes, all these, places, anywhere you could leave a comment saying, who is Lumberjack Dan? Why is this place, why the Lumberjack theme for this park? What's up with the little tin toys hacking everybody up? Why? You know,
that's-
none of
and
this
that's
is
actually
explained. What the hell?
That's the interesting part. If you watch the original Halloween,
No.
it is never. No. Okay, fine. I don't give a shit. Uh,
Delayed
uh,
reaction.
if you watch Halloween, it's never explained why he killed his sister. You still don't know why he comes back to kill these kids.
If you watch
It-
the other Halloween movies, though, they give a
Oh.
really
No,
shitty
yeah.
explanation.
So that's the one bad thing that will happen as a result of this horror movie. There may be shitty sequels.
I actually read the novelization of the first movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Really?
and I don't know. I never saw any of the further films, but except for the one with the masks that turn into worms and shit, that was cool.
Well, that one was completely unrelated.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Which is,
But-
I actually, again, give them props for. I wish they had gone that direction
Right.
with Halloween.
I mean, when Scream came out and they said Scream 2 is coming out, I thought, wouldn't it be cool if Scream 2 sent up a whole different type of... Well, no, it's the same thing again. Oh, well. But,
Yeah.
in the novelization, a very interesting thing, I don't know if this was what they went with on the film series, but they had this thing about this deformed Celtic boy from centuries past who fell in love with this girl, and the village didn't like it, so they killed him and threw him off a cliff, and he vowed revenge, and Michael Myers was like the reincarnation of this Celtic deformed kid, and it was like, what? I thought he just liked cutting people up. I don't know.
That's my reaction. Why?
But yeah.
Why does an ancient Celtic curse cause a kid to dress up like a clown and stab his sister to death on Halloween?
Right.
But here's the thing: it's never explained, and we're fine with it. We came to like this movie a lot. It was never fully explained.
This
Same
is
with
true. But the internet isn't fine with it these days.
Well,
They want an
eventually-
explanation
but
for
the thing is-
everything. I get exactly where Slime Beast is coming from.
But here's the thing: you start with the first movie, and they'll want more. You'll watch it and like I said, it's so good, but I want to know more. And this is the bad thing that happens with scary movies: sequels. People watch these and they love it. They love the fact there's enough that they don't know exactly what it is. But the worst part is they want the answers. So then the Hollywood says, okay, we'll give them the answers in these sequels. And do we remember the sequels? Not so much.
No, the sequels are shit, and the answers they give are shit.
Yeah, but
The
everybody
mystique is the unknown.
But like anything, it's like any scary movie. It's like, why Nightmare on Elm Street? We still consider that a hit. People develop sequels to answer the questions. Who is Freddy Krueger? Who is this person? What's going on with his backstory? And
How much do you
Boxers or
need to know?
briefs?
does he like boxers or briefs?
How much do you need to know about fucking Freddy Krueger? It's right there in the beginning of the first movie. I mean, even fucking Tom Green said it. He's a molester. He's a child
But
molester.
it's never said out loud. It's never said out loud.
But it's so obvious.
Does
It's
anybody
obvious
else
that-
now want to see Tom Green get killed by Freddy Krueger in one of the movies?
Yes.
Yes.
Where he's
Yes.
just running down the street. He's a child molester, and Freddy's after him.
Look, my point is, with this one,
I hated Freddy got fingered.
Oh,
No,
Freddy's
we
about
are
to
not
finger
talking
you.
about
Clack, clack.
we are
There you
not
go.
talking about that film.
The
Don't
original,
you
the original wisecracking Freddy Krueger. Just like that would.
My point
Point
is, usually the first movie is the most for a horror movie is very memorable because it doesn't reveal a lot. However, I will admit you are gonna get the crappy part of people are gonna love it and be like, oh my god, what is it? What can we find? It's so awesome, but I want to know more. And
Where
then
is Toy
Holly-
Chica's beak?
Exactly. And then that's what happens. They give you more. That Hollywood gives you more by offering sequels.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, there probably will be sequels to this.
When
And that's
good
why
news-
you lose. Okay, so
Aw.
The good news is you get money.
And the good news is people can ignore the sequels and just pay attention to the first movie.
true.
Everybody will always still remember the first movie. I still remember watching Halloween. I don't really care about the sequels on the other ones. I still remember watching Nightmare on Elm Street. I don't remember much of the other ones. Same with basically any horror movie. Although I watched what's that? what's that one movie that came out that everybody was like, "Oh my gosh, it's so scary," and I'm like, "I'm bored." Oh, Paranormal Activity. That's it.
Jeez.
That movie bored me.
But yeah.
So Tulpa.
Oh yeah.
Your
God, we've
turn,
been here
David.
for ages. Okay.
Sorry.
Tulpa. What do you want to ask me about Tulpa? Give me. Challenge me.
You're making a
I can
movie
take
about a dude sitting in a room picturing things. Is that correct?
Ultra
How would
low budget.
Okay, so congrats, David. Now, let's not forget one of the things that alters his tulpa is noise, like annoying noise in the background.
Ooh.
Do you think people could tolerate that over a long period of time?
You could have it prominent to start with, and then have it slowly kind of fade into the background. Like he's not paying as much attention to it. You're in the perspective of the character, and he's not paying as much attention to it as he's focusing on the tulpa. So you're right there along with him as he slowly tunes the noise out. And the noise wouldn't be so obnoxious that it would like annoy the audience. Although
soundtrack by Bieber.
baby, God damn it! I need to picture this tulpa so hard. You do have the opportunity for jump scares though, noise based ones. If you're going to fulfill that.
Okay.
Because, that's what gets to people when you think about it. It's not like just something jumping out in front of you. It's something jumping out while accompanied by a loud boom.
Okay, let's test this. Let's play the cat scare sound.
Oh, shit.
Kayla is gone! Okay, so...
What happened?
Oh no, Kayla's disappeared. But anyway. Tulpa is clearly not the winner. So let me go into mine.
Oh, but I had so much to say.
Okay, go for it.
Okay, well, so like I said, cat scares abound if you need that. Like, I don't feel like it needs to rely on that, but because the idea is that it's more of a psychological thriller. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like, it deals with the fact that he's, getting to know this guy and his other, and you need a really good actor for this. You need someone who could play both parts. You know what
Adam Sandler.
That really would be a horror movie right there.
You're my tulpa! Shut up!
It's Rob Schneider.
Oh boy, yeah. Adam
what?
Sandler and his tulpa is Rob Schneider. That would be...
Exactly. That's what I was.
Oh man. I've got to envision my tulpa. You can do it.
Oh god. So we're basically making Happy Gilmore now.
There you go. You said it, not me.
Fair enough. But yeah, and the thing with Tulpa is the story is so. I said this earlier. The story is so like open, and because it's from a first person perspective and doesn't expand that much, that there's a lot of places where you can make your own sort of adaptation decisions.
Well, you could basically, and this is not to help you out, but I feel like I have to say it. You could basically do something maybe like Saw, where he's in the room, but you see like either flashbacks or flash forwards or, whatever of different situations, where things are going wrong or whatever type of thing like that.
Yeah, exactly. Or, it wouldn't be that hard to change scenes. You'd have like his apartment, maybe out on the street, in the room, in a slightly different room.
In a back alley.
On top of Old Smoky.
In a Chinese laundromat.
On a cruise ship to Nicaragua.
On a mission to Mars. One way.
Well, I don't know how much there is to say about Tulpa in that respect. I think it'll work. I think it could conceivably work as a maybe a more budgeted creepypasta movie.
Right. And you said that David Fincher would direct.
Yeah, David Fincher would direct it. Although, again, I feel like, unironically, I would actually say, yeah, maybe Kevin Smith would do a good job with this one. Like, I don't know, just because it is kind of self-aware, or at least
Jay and Silent Bob hanging around outside the research facility.
they just happen to be there. They're his friends. When his concerned friend comes over to ask him why he hasn't been around. It's actually Jay and Silent Bob, and he just beats the shit out of them.
There you go.
Yeah.
I would pay to see that.
See, I already it's sold. Like, you don't even need a main marketing him. It's like, watch some dude beat the shit out of Jay and Silent Bob.
Jay and Silent Bob get struck back.
There you go. Watch because his imaginary friend told him to.
That's right.
So why don't we move on to yours?
Yeah, I mean, which imaginary friend told you to pick that story?
My story? Oh,
Yeah.
it
Seems
was.
like your imaginary friend told you pick Tulpa. It's a great idea. No, not really.
I usually take his advice. It helps me out pretty well. It helped me, meet Kayla, who now is AWOL. So I guess I don't know if that was a good decision.
That's her new nickname, K-Wall.
Kayla, she's going to hate me so much for not being here.
Uh,
I'm sorry. Not really. Okay, well.
but anyway, yeah, I mean, I think that's a good idea and everything. I like both your ideas. I kind of just have to pay a little lip service against your ideas to try to bolster mine, but
No, I understand that, and
yeah.
I'm going to challenge you too. I mean, that's the idea. We're tearing each other down so we can build each other up.
Yeah, good luck, brother. Anyway, the house that Death forgot. I mean,
Okay.
you got Last House on the Left by Wes Craven.
Right.
About a house on the left that was the last one.
Yeah,
He's
it was pretty final, that last house on the
yeah,
left.
he's well knowledged in the art of shooting a film about a creepy house where terrible things happen.
This is
He's
true.
been here before. He's done this before, but not in this way. It's not like a repeat. It's more like familiar ground.
Hmm.
The hills have eyes. You've got these mangled people that maybe are trying to prevent the main character from leaving. Maybe she, you know, they try being nice. The people who are less mangled and more sightly.
Hey,
Try
look,
to,
come on. It's
yeah.
cool, sister. Stay a
Oh,
while.
wouldn't you rather have breakfast in bed? I'll cook you something and bring it up. That Granny Royce character, who's the person that runs the place, is like a grandmotherly type.
Hmm.
But then you've got these people who are like more unsightly.
Right,
And, they're
exactly.
kind of on the periphery. She kind of catches glimpses of them. They're
Uh-huh.
kind of hustling around through the hallways because they got to use the communal bathroom too. And, so it's like that Hills Have Eyes kind of thing, these almost mutant-like people, except, they're just mangled corpse people. And,
Hmm.
when the niceties don't work, maybe they, physically have to restrict her from leaving, for her own good and, have to finally
We
explain.
we really don't want you to die
Yeah,
because it hurts. Like
it
it hurts
does,
all
and
the
it's
time.
forever. We just live constant lives of sorrow.
Now the question is this the kind of scenario where they are acting irrationally strange, and if they had just mentioned it earlier, everything might have gone a little bit better? Or is it
Well,
that
see,
thing where you mislead the audience a bit, make them think that the guys are preventing her from leaving because they're just horrible people, and then the twist comes being, oh no, there's a magical homicidal killer outside who rips you apart and
all
then
I can
puts you
picture
back
is like
in.
Edward Cullen when you say magical homicidal killer. But yeah, I
Well,
mean,
it could be he might sparkle right up to you and stab you in the face.
right. You're blinded for a moment. The thing is, this is sort of a downside of the original source material is that thing of, there's always that thing if they just said right away, she walks in the doors and they say, oh shit, you're fucked, you can't ever leave or you're gonna die. That would be like the simplest, quickest story. But of course, there's all this obfuscation, of why can't she leave? Why are they keeping her here? And then eventually they tell her, et cetera and so forth. That's kind of like a flaw you're going to find in a lot of stories and movies.
Right.
A writer moves out to a haunted house. If only the people in the town had come up to him and said, "Don't move there. People kill their families when they." That would be a very short movie.
Right. No,
But
and and I get that. You gotta have dramatic tension.
yeah.
So what I'm asking you is essentially, how would you get around that? I mean, obviously the story's got to maintain its facade for a bit, but having them explain it even feels kind of, actually explain what's going on feels kind of cheap. And I would almost say, would there be a scenario where maybe slowly our main character in her explorations of the hotel starts like sort of uncovering clues about what's really going on, but you don't
Well,
really get the full picture until the end?
there are sort of there is that question of how long people have been at this place.
Right.
So I mean, it would be interesting to find. There's the guy down the hall who's like a young guy and he walks with a limp or whatever the fuck. Whatever his
Uh-huh.
injury would be. But sort of a young guy, you wouldn't, he's kind of keeps to himself and so forth. And she, in her exploration of this place and why she's being kind of courteously kept from leaving, like a prisoner, maybe she finds some old photographs of this guy in, the Korean War or something, or however long ago this place has been,
Yeah,
It's and it's the same guy, and she's like, holy shit,
Yeah, she first nonchalantly was like, "Hey, this guy kind of looks like you," and he like does the shifty eye thing, goes, "Yeah, that's my father. I'm told we look a lot alike." Or
Oh,
something.
yeah. That's my father, and never mind the fact I have basically just all his war memorabilia and nothing of my own, but
Yeah. I like to hang on to those things,
Yeah.
And it's like first, but then she's like, maybe she finds like newspaper clippings talking about like maybe the history of this place. No, not the history of the place itself, but like, and not ever going into huge detail, but like Granny Royce's thing opens to.
Too much information.
Yeah, exactly. That's the pitfall.
Granny
That's
Royce's
the pitfall.
thing opens to
Oh, wow. Okay, I walked right into that one.
The funny thing is that the tagline of her Roadhouse is, "She'll take good care of you."
What if it was a brothel at some point?
Granny Royce is here to help ya. Come on in, soldier. And yeah, but yeah, I mean, it's got its flaws, but I think that with somebody like Wes Craven, there's, as you said, there's this magical killer outside, and whoever he kills doesn't die. I would trust somebody like Wes Craven to turn that into a Freddy Krueger type character.
Right.
Of that level, that iconic character. Maybe it becomes that thing of, just him. I know that that's a Powerpuff Girls reference, but still.
Yeah, no, I understand.
You've got Freddy, you've got Jason, you've got Michael Myers, you've got him, like this killer who you don't die when he kills you. And, I would trust, somebody like that with basically what are essentially flaws in the original story. Mm-hmm. You put them in somebody's hands who can mold those into positive things.
That's very true. I gotta hand it to you there.
Yeah.
I'm just curious about the possibility of how that might play out.
Hand it all to me.
One strength even could be that we start getting, even before she finds out about the killer, you get hints of that. Creepy POV shots of someone outside looking into the room, into the hotel.
And, your
like
thought watching the film, if you haven't read the story, your thought watching the film is probably going to be, gee, I wonder which of these people she's met at the bed and breakfast or the Roadhouse, I wonder which one of these people is stalking her and looking in her window. And it turns out it's none of them. It's the guy who's keeping them there,
face. Yeah. No, it'd be good. Little half glimpses.
But yeah.
Yeah.
So I think, a story that maybe would not be a winner in this CreepyPasta to film adaptation, I think is helped along by, the people I've chosen.
Yeah, I think that you chose well in Wes Craven.
And I probably would cast Emma Stone as the main character.
Well, a lot of people would see a horror movie with Emma Stone in it.
Yeah, and I mean, she's got the crazy face for it.
Yeah.
I mean, can't you imagine her screaming in terror? I mean, that would be like, holy shit, the world's about to end.
Who would be, that's true. Who would be Granny Royce, though?
I want to say, just to go like and this may not even, be the right route to go, but I would say Kathy Bates, just as the, not only an homage to Misery, where she kept the dude in her house, but also to give maybe the audience, one more character to question, is this the person who's the villain?
Just by proxy of the fact that she was Annie Wilkes.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. No,
and, she could be very sweet, and, yet when the main character tries to leave, she could be very much, snapping at them, like, don't you dare go out there.
I like that.
And the story actually ends with, the original CreepyPasta ends with the main character trying to leave anyway, despite everything, and getting stabbed right in the eye.
Yep, and when she wakes up...
Yep. She's back in the room.
And her eye is basically falling out of her socket.
Yep. Because not only do you not die, but you don't get better.
Yep. You feel whatever pain you felt constantly, forever and ever.
Yep.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it works. So, who won?
Yeah, it's difficult to defeat a Hollywood all-star, but luckily she left the call and couldn't tear anything.
So you're saying she can't defend herself?
Right, and plus she
Or
can't
her
destroy
choices.
my idea with something I didn't think of.
Well, we might want to do somewhere down the line as a little supplement, a round two.
Nope.
No? How dare you? No, I mean like a rebuttal.
Yeah, but I mean, I think I'm sitting pretty good right now. So it's like
Well, of course
it's
you're
like
gonna
that
say
thing
that.
of
Of
time to
course.
retire undefeated.
Yeah. Admittedly, I feel like all of our pitches could work. I think we did a good job.
Right. I mean,
Yeah.
I think that anybody out there probably would see like a creep show type uh, trilogy movie, with all three films in one.
Well, they're all different enough from each other that it would actually work out really nicely.
Right.
And the thing is, that's a whole topic altogether. Whimsywood, Tulpa, and The House That Death Forgot all have potential to be really good short films. In particular, the more you truncate them, I think the better they'll be.
Right.
To be honest, although any of these could be expanded much further into a larger movie, I feel like Whimsywood has the potential to be okay. But I guess this was the one roundtable question I wanted to ask. Like, which of these movies would you be most excited to see? It doesn't even have to necessarily be the movie you pitched.
Well, see, the thing is, I love iconic stuff even more so, really, than story or anything like that. So I probably would see Whimsywood just based on the fact that there was a movie called Whimsywood about a killer amusement park. Because I just like the strange concepts.
Right. Well, I agree with you there. I mean, you basically as you write about what you like. You write the stuff you want to read, and I agree with you there because I love really subtle horror. I love horror that is like weird, off-putting, off-kilter, disconcerting, and if done right, Whimsywood as a movie would do that very well because there's never really you never really see a direct source of threat. It's just kind of all around you, and it like slowly grows until eventually a lumberjack ride eats you.
That's right. Eaten by a lumberjack ride. That's the official cause of death on the report.
Mm-hmm. And then, well, there's no report because everybody just conveniently forgets.
That's true.
And then a movie like Tulpa, it could be, it is fun because it deals with a character's psychology. How much of this is in the character's head, and how much of this is actually him manifesting a doppelganger that is doing horrible things, like killing people and stuff.
Right.
And making this guy's life a living hell. What is the purpose of the experiment that these shady scientists are conducting? The reason the Tulpa stops torturing the main character is a little bit just like out of nowhere. It just seems like a strange thing, and then that leaves some questions too.
Well, it also has like the potential, like I said with the Saw films, it has potential for franchise. Because you could say, here's the next candidate for this, procedure, and what happens with them,
Tulpa 2.
Here's what happens.
Tulpas?
2 Tulpas, 2 Furious.
Jeez. Every sequel adds more doppelgangers. Like the next person does 2. Tulpa 3, they spawn 3. Tulpa 4 is the original people coming back, but each of them spawns 2 Tulpas, and then they fight.
Mia Tulpa. I think you just ruined your own franchise theory.
Well, I'm trying to put it into perspective there that any franchise goes on long enough, it's going to start sucking.
Ugh.
That's
Except
the thing.
for The House That Death Forgot.
Now, I have a hard time seeing The House That Death Forgot as a franchise, to be honest.
Well, you could have The House That Death Forgot, and then you could have the supermarket that Death forgot. The gazebo that Death forgot.
The laundromat that Death forgot.
The Chinese laundromat that Death forgot.
The graveyard that Death forgot, because Death, you'd think, would be like, oh, I'm all over that. But he's not.
The Alzheimer's clinic that Death forgot. But decide in the comments below who won. Is it me, Slime Beast, the person who owns this channel and can delete your comments? Is it David, who has no power here? Or is it Kayla, who quit the call early and disrespected all of you?
You should just... Or is it the fourth, or is it actually one of our tulpas? Because, they're all watching you right now.
From the window. To the wall.
From in the room that Death forgot that you're now all sitting in as you plan your trip to Whimsywood.
Oh boy. The crawl space Death forgot. You can never leave this crawl space. Sorry.
Oh, that sucks for that person in who moved to that apartment and looked inside.
I don't know
That's
the
a whole nother
reference.
creepypasta entirely.
Yeah. That sounded like another thing I didn't read. All right.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
That's Jumpscared. Tell us in the comments
Woo!
who won. Tell us your own ideas in the comments.
Yes.
That's it.
Give us suggestions for other topics, even.
Yes. But not
Yes.
shitty ones, just good ones.
Yeah, we only accept good ones.
All right.
Well,
I
thank
feel
you
pretty
very much,
confident.
Slime Beast, for having me on the show.
Thank you for being on the show, and thank Kayla for me if you ever see her again.
I might not at this rate.
Oh, no.
She's going to play this back and break up with me immediately.
As if she's going to listen to a 2-hour show she was in.
Ha
All right. Cool. That's Jumpscared. Tune in next time when we will discuss some other topic, and hopefully I won't be coughing, hopefully I won't be muting, hopefully people will stay here, and hopefully the people we originally get will be here as well. All right.
Boo, everybody.
Bye.